fine. Just get Mr. Collins through me as soon as he's in. Thank you.
Then Jesus took the little children in his arms and blessed them by placing his hands on them.
Cameron?
Dad! Nice of you to make the time. No. Nice of you to see me. Come on, Dad, you can do it. Yes, Dad?
Oh, I got these for you. You'll need to rest when you get out. I remember you saying you wanted to go to Tahiti.
Nice gesture, Dad. A little late, isn't it?
You can take that nice blonde girl you're so fond of.
Her name's Tracy, Dad, and she has dark hair. Geez, Dad, I've only been seeing her for almost a year.
Mum's feeling a bit better now.
I know. She's been in several times.
She's been on my case to come and see you. Sorry I didn't get in sooner. It's the first chance I had to get away. You know how it is.
Only too well.
Work calls. Oh, Cameron.
What, Dad? What is it?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
What for, Dad? Sorry that I'm in this mess? Sorry that you're feeling guilty? Sorry that you're never there, always at work? Sorry that I've caused you to miss a call? Or sorry that this time you can't just send a gift to compensate for your lack of family devotion? Yet, even now, that's what you've done. Dad, these things aren't important.
I wanted to provide the best for you. I wanted you to be something.
I am something, Dad. I am someone. I'm your son.
Now.
Isn't that enough?
I tried to give you everything.
Oh, yes, you did, Dad.
I
Toys,
wanted you to
money,
have the
a
things
car.
I didn't have when I was young.
Dad, I appreciate
That's
those
why
things,
I had
but
to
they're
work
nothing.
so hard to provide for you.
They're nothing
Your sister.
compared with having a father.
Mum,
Dad, I just wanted you.
you understand? Don't you?
Just your time, Dad. Just your time. Please, Dad, please.
Yeah, hi, Stephen. I'm sorry I missed your call. Oh, I'm just in the hospital visiting my son. No, it's no trouble. I was just leaving.
Dad?
I'll... Look, I'm gonna have to call you back, okay? Sorry, Cam.
I understand. Work calls.
Sorry I wasn't there.
Hi, hon.
Trace,
Only me.
I'm glad you're here.
I just saw your dad on the way in. Nice he could come and visit.
Yeah, you could call it that.
I bought you some fresh flowers.
Thanks, babe.
I thought the old ones were looking a little bit worn out. A bit like my man, really. Did your dad give you this?
Yeah, it's a guilt offering.
Tahiti. Wow, that's nice of him. You know, it might seem kind of funny, kind of a strange thing to say, but I've really appreciated this time we've had together. Time just to sit with you. No one to share you with. No work. Nothing to get in our way.
Oh, Trace, I wish you could hear me.
Well, almost nothing. Anyway, I was down at the supermarket this morning, and guess who I ran into? It was Meg, and she was saying that Eric's been going out later than ever and staying out, and she really doesn't think he's doing so well. I said,
Ever lost something really important? And you know what the most annoying question right now is, don't you? Where did you last have it? Frustrating, because you can't remember. And you can't remember because since you lost it, you've been busy doing so many other things. If you could remember, it wouldn't be lost, would it?
Ben, have you seen my keys?
No, I haven't seen it.
This is so like the story of our lives. The one thing you know you need to do gets lost in the millions of other things you find yourself doing. I mean, what's the one thing you know that you need to do, but you haven't got around to do because of everything else in your life? You do know what that one thing is, don't you? Because, I mean, you don't get any more lost than not even knowing you're lost. That one thing that you haven't done gives a good indication about what you think is important in life. So what would you give to make sure that it happens? How serious are you about finding it? Earlier, we saw a dad who deep down knows what that one thing is. Spending time with his family, his son. But it's gotten lost in his career, or his lifestyle, or his ambitions, or the million and other one things that have taken him away. What will he do about it? One day he might work out that he's lost something and start searching through his bag of life trying to find it. And funny, when you're searching for something that you've lost, you realise that the rest of these things, they don't really matter. Jesus had a guy with these kind of issues run up to him once. He was pretty desperate to find what he'd lost. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and asked, "Good teacher, what can I do to have eternal life?" The one thing this guy wanted was to have a relationship with God, to be connected to the source of real life. Somewhere along the line, he figured out that he'd lost this, or maybe he'd never had it at all. Jesus replied, "You know the commandments. Do not murder. Be faithful in marriage. Do not steal. Do not tell lies about others. Do not cheat. Respect your father and mother." The man answered, "Teacher, I've obeyed all these commandments since I was a young man." This man had done what he could to follow the commandments. Well, nearly all of them. Jesus looked closely at the man. He liked him and said, "There's one thing you still need to do. Go and sell everything you own. Give the money to the poor, and you will have riches in heaven. Then come with me." When the man heard Jesus say this, he went away gloomy and sad, because he was very rich. The one thing this man needed to do was have God as number one in his life. That is what mattered most, being connected with God. He knew Jesus was right. There was one thing he still needed to do: get rid of the distraction. Get the priorities right. He was distracted by what he had, but he couldn't do it, so he walked away. What would you do if you were Jesus? Let him off the hook? Tell him you were just kidding? It was all just a big joke? Go on, keep the money. What did Jesus do? He goes for the one thing that the rich guy would find the hardest. Go, sell everything you have. Get rid of the distraction and make God your number one priority. He doesn't let him off the hook. He lets the man walk. Why? Why would Jesus do this? Because he doesn't like rich people? Or because he wants to help a man find what he's lost?
Hey, I found them!
Oh, what were they?
Oh, at the back, in the staff room. I can't believe I found them. I thought I'd never find them.
Jesus said to his disciples, "It's hard for rich people to get into God's kingdom." The disciples were shocked to hear this, so Jesus told them again, "It's terribly hard to get into God's kingdom. In fact, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to get into God's kingdom." I don't care how big your needle is, or how small your camel. That sounds downright painful. If this doesn't shock you, it should. Why so hard? Because the rich, the secure, the self-sufficient think that they don't need God. Their trap is that they have everything. They can live their lives as if God didn't exist, doing things their own way, on their own terms. And as far as God is concerned, this is unacceptable. I say again, as far as God is concerned, this is unacceptable. And Jesus knew that living life this way was such a serious problem that the only way that this rich guy could be freed from such self-sufficiency was to go and sell everything he had. To find the one thing, he had to give away everything. That's hard. We have to say that we live with everything. We are secure and self-sufficient. Do we live life as if God doesn't exist? It's scary to think that one day God might treat us the same way. That one day God might live as if we didn't exist. Jesus called the rich guy to costly action. To help us find this one thing, what does Jesus call us to do?